Toxic traits girls go crazy over. Many men make the mistake of thinking girls are too innocent. Granted, it sort of wears away, but most men don't realize that women are even hornier than men. In fact, they're also thinking of sex all the time. They just know how to hide it better. So they also have their own set of kinks and habits that turn them on. It's not only about physical looks with women, some traits and habits also make them go crazy over you. She'll be begging to sleep with you once you start showing these traits in your behavior. No wonder all these bad boys and toxic men have no trouble getting laid. Women deep down love all that and love being dominated like that. So let's get into it. First thing women love is authenticity. Authenticity is a huge big boy trait. It seems like a good and sincere trait to have, but true authenticity is very brash and straightforward. It's straightforward like that because it means you aren't ready to change anything. You are stubborn and rebellious like that. It shows strength and a potential for leadership. Women just eat that up. There's nothing more dominant than a man who knows what he is and doesn't change that for anyone. He acts a certain way, and he isn't scared to act any different in front of anybody. That's quite a toxic trait, because men like these are hard to deal with. You wouldn't want a man like this in your office or your team. You wouldn't want this man to work with you. It's a toxic trait if seen like that, but women just die over men like these. Why do you think they're obsessed with these toxic male protagonists and vampire high school boys? They exhibit the same carefree, I don't care energy. They aren't willing to change for anyone. That's very hard for a woman, because one of her tests is to see how long you can remain yourself before breaking down and pretending to be someone else. The second toxic thing is being reckless. People fear reckless people. You wouldn't want to sit in a car with one. You wouldn't like to travel one. There's just no way of knowing what the men will do next, is it? Reckless people are always a risk to have. Sometimes the risks might come out successful, but not all of the time. For any level-headed mature team, recklessness is a huge liability. But let me tell you, women just love recklessness. That's why high school bullies pulled so many girls back then. They love an adventurous kind of guy that's willing to take risks. It shows an abundance of testosterone and masculinity. Even research has shown that men who take more risks and act reckless tend to have higher testosterone. Women love the energy that guys like these exude. They love dating guys like these because women never make their own fun. They like to tag along. That's her biological role as a female. She will tag along for the ride with a man who is built up to that. That's why women are allowed access to yachts and exclusive parties. All she needs is her looks to get in. Women like to tag along for exciting adventures provided they have everything set up for them already. They don't like to plan or make decisions. So for guys out there taking risks and doing daring things, she will either tag along or get really impressed. Women love guys like these. You'll see all these surfers, climbers and racers date so many beautiful women. This is the reason why. Be completely confident about your purpose. This isn't necessarily a toxic trait, but it can get tiring very quickly. Sometimes there are these men who are just obsessed with their purpose and goal. Every day they have nothing to talk about but their grind. The guy has so much energy over it that it gets tiring to follow. Sometimes a guy like that gets on your nerves. It gets toxic when the guy gets after with cold ruthlessness and precision. They'll stop at nothing to achieve it, not unlike the conquerors and warriors of old. Men like these slept with tens of women back then, and they still do. Women absolutely love men with purpose. In fact, women purposely keep their eyes on men like these because they know he might make it somewhere in life. They're keeping guys like these at the back of their heads, wanting to get on for the luxury and riches when he's made it. But there's also an element of masculinity and arrogance with guys like these. They walk around like they own the world. With every small win, these guys feel more confident. How do you even stumble on a guy as confident as this? So when they go out and gain women, they have immense success. Women just drool over guys like these. Ambitious guys. I'm talking overly ambitious, like some crazy goals. The guy who just seems so uncomfortably ambitious and high-achieving, it's almost hard to bear him. Sometimes it's hard to figure out if he's just joking, because he always talks big things and likes to take things far. Women love ambitious guys. In a way, it's a lot like having a purpose. The energy and drive turns women on. That's because these men are unique. Everywhere around them, men are trying to get their attention. They're coming in the dims, trying to talk to them and get their attention. She's just used to guys like these. She isn't looking for any more simps. Ambitious guys, however, they're a very different story. They ignore women because they're always focused on their grind. Women are almost intimidated by men like these. They're thrown off because they can't figure out why he isn't falling for her charms. She chases a guy like this, but he doesn't care because his ambition is just too important for him. And finally, which is going to sound somewhat of a contradiction, but being a guy who's good with women is going to attract even more women. Men think women like being nice and sincere. It's pretty much the opposite. This sounds toxic, but women would rather share a high-value man with other women than sleep with a lower-value man. Even research shows that women do mate copying. They decide their men by looking at other girls. If he's able to get dates with other women, she gets interested as well. Women are toxic like that. In fact, she'll get more attracted to a guy she rejected if he gets a girlfriend later. So the more popular a guy is with women, he's going to get with even more girls. That's why guys who rotate girls are always successful. Girls are like money in this sense. The more you get it, the easier it is to get more of it. The start is always the slow part. The more girls you're dating, the more girls you'll attract because women get interested. They want to see what it is that is making all the other girls so interested. Women don't really care about sincerity. They care about where you stand on the hierarchy. They want the best of the best, and it doesn't matter how they get it. So these are the toxic traits to look out for. Next time you see that guy who's always good with women, see if he shows some of these traits. I wouldn't necessarily tell you to start adopting these skills in a toxic manner, but every man needs to exhibit them in some way to maximize their potential. Enough for today. Stay toxic, kings. Take care.